The optimism around business owners is starting to wane again. It is Tuesday, July the 8th, and this is Markets with Megan. If you like this podcast, please, you can subscribe, hit that alarm bell. Also, share it with friends, family, or colleagues. But we want to break down the economic data like we do every day with the Markets with Megan. And today we're talking about the Small Business Optimism Index that we received this morning. We like to look at this because small businesses are a big portion of the U.S. economy. And this survey does give us some insight into their future plans for spending and what they see with inflation. What we saw in the month of June, that optimism actually slipped. It declined for the fifth time now, so it's declined in 5 of the 6 months for this year. Now, we didn't see big drops like we saw during the Liberation Day declines and even, the month of April, the month of March, but what we did see was it slide to what investors or economists had expected for this time around. But let's dig into some of the details here. What we saw was that optimism around whether it is their increasing capex spending. This, again, is a contributor to GDP. That weakened. We saw those plans to increase inventory still remains weak. We actually saw inventory satisfaction decline as well. Does this have to do with tariffs? We're not sure yet, but this is something that we'll monitor. The easing of credit conditions, that remains weak as the Fed continues to remain on hold with interest rates. Also, we saw the positive expectations for earnings trends. That remains weak as well. What we did see was some increases in the expectation for higher selling prices. That's what we're going to take away from this report, and that's what we're going to focus on because the Fed will be looking at that. And does this come into the CPI and those inflation indicators that the Fed wants to see because of those lingering effects from the tariffs? Now, economic news is taking kind of a backseat to all these regular headlines we're getting around the tariffs, which are set to expire tomorrow. We now see that this is going to be pushed out to the August 1st, but we're getting some other details around specific imports that the Trump administration is targeting. So this is what's moving the markets today. We'll be back again this week with some more news that as we see it. Like we said, there's a lot of stuff coming out of Washington, so that will be moving markets as well this week. But we also will be starting off earnings season in the next couple of weeks as well. So that will be another thing for the markets to focus on. That's all we have today. If you want a history of this podcast, you can go to marketswithmegan.fm. Thank you.